forward. All right, we're good.
Awesome. Okay, so over the last few days, when I've had some free time, I've been trying to mess around with this with both the Next and the Tailwind. And I kind of changed these boxes. They were a bit yellow before. I added some text into all of them. I changed the sizing so it kind of fitted inside of the boxes. I couldn't at first figure out how to get the paragraphs kind of going, so it took me a while to add those in, but I finally kind of figured out like how the divs were working and whatnot. And I tried actually adding an image. What was the Figma uh, the like wording, but I was having some trouble with that. I even like resized it, but wasn't able to do it. And then I want to add some links to these. I was trying to do that to like different pages, but I was also having a little bit of trouble with that as well. Sorry, my computer's a little loud as well. So I guess it's got a lot going
Listen,
on.
vacuum, I love it. Dude, this is absolutely perfect. This is such a great spot for us to pick this up. I'm going to lean on you to set priorities. So I think we could start with any of those that you just mentioned. But what do you want to start with?
Maybe pages just so have a couple of different spots to uh, add some more divs and mix around some stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yep. All right. So there's two things we need. We need the pages themselves that each of these are pointing to, and then we have to create links that'll get us there.
Okay.
Right? Let's set up the routes first.
Okay.
And this is one of the nice things that Next takes care of for us, right? This is much easier in a Next project than if we had to do it all of our, all the steps ourselves in React. Here, all you have to do is add .js files to your pages folder over there on the left side.
Okay.
So let's think about, so what 3 pages do we need, first of all? Go back just to talk about naming these things.
So
We go look at your project again.
an hour
Oh, you see
mission.
it right there. It's nice to have the visual, right? So the one on
An
the
hour
left,
mission page, like a newsroom kind of page, and then like a main connections page.
and so in terms of file names, it seems to me like mission.js will do.
Okay.
And then connections and newsroom or something.
Okay. How would I file new file?
That works. There's also, yeah, if you right click on pages,
Oh,
new file. Yeah. Yep. And then 2 more.
one, two more. My bad.
And if any of these turn out to be a section of the site comprising of multiple pages, we can always create folders with these names. So that's an option too. But for now, we'll just do static pages, and then we'll talk about making them more dynamic later on.
Okay, that sounds good.
Now, do you have RFCE installed? Does that sound familiar?
I I don't I don't think so.
Go down to, it's over on the far left side. There's like that vertical column of icons. Yeah, and the second one from the bottom.
Oh,
And just type in the search box RFCE. This gets it for you. No, it doesn't. What's it called? Greg, do you remember what this thing is called? It's called something snippets.
Like React.
Yeah, React, good call.
think I do have React.
It's the second one. It's ES7 React Redux right there. Yeah, and just click the install button. Perfect. All right, you can close out from here. You can even close that whole tab on the top of the page. It's that simple. All right, and now type RFC.
Just in here.
Yeah, this new file, RFC, enter. Boom. Okay, it just takes care of the boilerplate for you.
Oh, that's sweet.
Okay, and you don't need line number 1. And I can check to see, it's easy to change these, but this one's so popular. Just in case you're ever building in React, this is just one of those extensions that is can't miss. All right, so here for now, inside that div on line 6, just write some empty H1 tags.
Still, is that right?
Yep, and close it. Yeah, perfect. And then just type, this is the connections page or something, right? Inside the tags, right?
Okay.
All right. And now just repeat for the other 2 pages.
And it was and what was the command?
RFC, that's right, RFC.
Stands for React Functional Component.
Right.
Is there a huge difference between RFC and RFCE?
E puts the export at the bottom of the file, and dropping the E leaves the export default all on the same line.
Okay.
What's up, Kyle?
RFC, cool.
Cole, I don't know whether you noticed, but on the news page you typed in, you want to have it right after the first H1 as opposed to.
Oh, like right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I did not catch that.
Don't forget to save all of these as well. Components, then React will update automatically. It'll hot reload, right?
Perfect. Okay.
Your development server running.
Well, we got to add the links anyway. So
sure.
save all these files, those 3 new files. And learn your keyboard shortcuts. Make sure you
Command C, right?
Alt tab.
Command
Alt
S.
tab.
Yeah,
Switch between tabs, right? You can switch between tabs with Alt tab or Alt tilde, perhaps, or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, you just want to save all of those, cool. All 3 at the top.
Tab control S,
like,
Alt tab control
I
S, Alt
see.
tab control S, right? Like that's the work. That's the.
Tick, tick.
My
All
bad.
right, so now we got to turn these boxes into links. But I have a question. And actually, yeah, let's actually start the development server. So back on the command line, you know how to do that. And it's gonna be npm.
Oh my god. Sorry.
A lot of letters.
Yarn
Yo.
run. Yarn dev.
Being watched while you're writing code.
Yarn dev.
Save 33% of your time
Definitely
right there. Just for
Really,
moving one word.
a little under pressure.
I love it.
I will always.
This is
yarn
fun.
Over NPM, guys.
I know. You've said that. We're one thing at a time.
Oh, it's looking good.
Yeah. I don't know, Kyle. What do you prefer? Do you use NPM or Yarn?
I use .NET, so I normally do .NET build, then .NET run. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Is
This
there a JavaScript dev in the
NPM.
house? Is there a JavaScript dev in the house?
All right, Cole. But go back to the project so we can see the web page. and scroll down. The question is, what is the link? Do you want somebody to have to click on the heading to go to each page, or like the whole box
Could
here?
it be the whole box?
Can be.
Yeah, maybe the whole box.
All right, so we want to make the whole box into a link.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's go find the entire Our Mission box in your index.js page.
That'd be right here.
Yeah,
Or,
index.js, right? Because this is where the link actually is.
oh, I see.
Now,
I see.
where is that mission box? Where does it start and where does it end?
That's right here.
Yeah. And so lines 30 and 31 are the text inside of the box. Lines 28 and 33 define the box itself.
Yeah.
If you want to turn the entire thing into a link, you actually have to wrap everything from line 28 to 33 in a link.
So would I do that up here?
Yeah, exactly. All right, now, Next has a custom link tag built into it that helps to make this whole routing thing easier. Yeah, exactly.
/link.
You know where to go for the docs.
Oh, that's not the right.
No, you can. Yeah, totally. And scroll all the way on the bottom of this menu, next/link. Right. So you can see what the import looks like, and you can see what the usage looks like.
Okay.
Right. So you're going to copy the import from the top of this file and paste that to the top of your file.
Just that.
The whole line.
Oh my.
Right. And once you import that, it means that you can use the link component in your file. And make sure you put that at the very top of the file. Yeah. Oh, it's already there. Great. So we don't have to worry about that. But we checked the docs anyway. That's good.
Awesome.
All right. So line 27, we can get rid of that. And it's a link tag with a capital L. And make sure you make it with the open and closing, like the greater than and less than signs, not the slash.
Yeah.
Oh, I
brackets.
see what you mean.
Angle brackets, that's what they're called.
Okay.
Link and then close it, and then make another one with that is /link that closes it, right? So that's then, so everything inside of that will be your link, right? So you can hit enter.
Yeah.
And then hit Alt down to hold Alt and push down arrow. Nope, just hold Alt and push down arrow.
My bad. I'm on a Mac.
That's okay. I don't know what
It's
the
Tab. Is tab.
Option.
I think it's
option and
yeah.
down. We'll move the line down.
Oh, that's
See?
way.
Oh.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. And then would that go there?
That's it. Yep. So
Exactly.
you've wrapped your whole div in a link. So now what does the link point to?
Put that there.
Which is the href. Does it do? Sorry, I didn't see the doc.
So yeah, so inside this link tag, do you see how it says link href equals?
Yes.
So you need the href equals part now.
Okay. All of that.
Write it in that. Just write it in there.
Yeah, just
Get
practice.
used to typing this stuff. Copy paste is no good. Understand what you're writing and why.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just don't want to be
It's
super
okay.
slow for
Don't-
you guys.
No,
No.
You're,
Take your time.
you're actually moving pretty fast right now. This is fun.
It's
Yeah,
better
it's
Don't
than-
let
very
people watching you rush you. That's how you. Yeah.
There's no pressure by any stretch.
But that's where it would go.
Press Command, yeah, press Command Z to undo that. Yeah, and then inside the link tag on line 27.
That's known as an attribute. Is that what they call those?
href.
href equals whatever you want to point it to, right? So in this case, it will be your mission. So inside quotes, you will go /mission.
And what does href stand for? Like hyperlink reference or something?
I think so.
Okay.
That sounds right.
And is that all you would have to do to link it, the two?
Let's go try it. Save this. And let's go take a look. All right, anything clickable there?
Oh, there you go.
Okay, it worked. Now, there's a few things though. One thing I always notice is that the behavior of the mouse is not changing in any responsive way. So there's a few choices here. Okay. One is that Tailwind does have a class that you can add to change the pointer, right? And you can look that up. But another thing you can do is, and this is complicated to explain. So remember last week we used the image tag, capital I, the word image. That is Next's custom implementation of an image tag. HTML also has an image tag built in. It's just all lowercase img. And the reason we don't use that here is because we want access to just some of the magic that Next has running under the hood, which is, for example, being able to just put images in the public folder and boom, have access to them. It has some nice resizing stuff built in. In a similar way, A is the default link tag, okay? And so in typical, right, in typical vanilla HTML, you'd have A space href equals. But we're using link right now because that gives us access to all the routing features of Next. If you were going to make a link to an external website like a GitHub repository or just any other website that you want people heading to, you wouldn't use link. You would use A space href equals to make an external link. Yeah, like OCG.
This is only for internal pages.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it would be like just the link and you just click on it.
Like the link component, the link, the next link component is only, what it's doing is handling routing, the React routing, so that it does all the magic for you in the background so that when you go to your domain /mission, it knows to grab that, to just load that JavaScript file with the mission name from the pages directory, right? It's doing the routing in the background when it compiles in Babel and all that bullshit in the background.
I see. Okay, I see.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you would have to do all of that yourself, just with raw React. Otherwise,
What-
if you
what
were
would be
using Next,
a lot. So it just gives
Right.
you
Contextual.
I see. I see.
So the reason I was telling you all that is because actually, if you go back to your code now, in between lines 27 and 28, okay, so yeah, you can actually just place an empty A tag here. So just do open tag A,
Open tag. What would open tag be?
just the,
like left angle bracket.
yeah,
Oh my.
yeah, A. Oh, sorry, just the letter A. The only thing you need is A there. Yep. And then close that. Yep. And then just like you saw a moment ago, press enter once in between. And then use option and down arrow to move that to right above the link tag. I think by doing this, now save that, I think by adding that anchor tag here, it's going to make the mouse behavior that we were looking for appear. Oh, wow, that was unexpected.
I think the easiest thing to do at this point would just to make the link our mission text at this point, so that we can get the functionality and prove that our mission takes us to the page we want to.
Right. Well, the functionality worked. I was just, look at that though. So the mouse, look at the mouse behavior. That's actually interesting. Anyway, what I didn't expect was for this div to get more narrow. We're not going to troubleshoot that right now. Go back and delete those. But what you are seeing is that one way to get the mouse behavior is to add an A tag because the browser looks for that. Luckily,
Right, 'cause-
there's a few other things we can do. And so you opened up the Tailwind CSS documentation. Let's go back to that now. And search for pointer. Yeah, cursor pointer. All right.
Is this what you want?
Yeah. Well, hover over that hover me box that's purple above that. Yeah. All right. So if you want the hand like that, all we have to do is add the class cursor pointer to the div that we just made. So now let's go back to your code on line 29. And obviously this is already getting pretty messy, but at the end of that, after BG opacity 50, inside the quotes, right? Add cursor dash pointer. Save that. And let's go take a look again.
Oh, that looks nice.
All right, now one more thing for you to know. Go back to your code one more time. You see how you have BG opacity 50? We could either make the color change on hover, or we could just change the opacity a little bit, just to give it a little bit of an interactive feel. Okay, so after, yeah, right before cursor pointer, type hover colon. And make sure it's a colon.
My bad.
You're good.
At the call, no.
Yep, that was the one. And then do BG opacity and try like BG opacity -10. Okay. And make sure there's dashes just like you had. And then just like you see earlier on this line, how it said you have like LG width 1/4, LG height 96. Make sure the BG is touching the colon right after the word hover. Yeah, get rid of that space. All right, save. Oh, and we do need a space after the number 10 before cursor point. All right, try this. Save
If
that.
you just Command S,
Say again.
Command S.
All right. Yep.
Thank you. No, I need to get that into my head. Okay. Now we'll go look at it. Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know if I picked the right color. Maybe 10 was too dramatic, but you get the idea.
Yeah,
right?
no, I can mess around with that.
You can mess with this. And also I promised that we would turn each of these into components last week. And we're probably not going to get to that tonight. That's okay. We'll do that at some point. Okay.
No worries. Yeah.
But click on that, and just to double check, this does go through where we expect it to. Perfect. All right, so let's repeat for the next two.
Oh, Cole, this is where, like I was like, oh shit, what did I just do?
No.
Yeah, no.
This is great. You're perfect. And this is a great thing to practice. Now look where that is.
It has to be above it.
Yeah. Oh, wait. But remember the option up arrow one time.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then no, that was
Yep.
and then that's where the I think that one was called move.
There's a really cool extension for Visual Studio once you get there. It's called Prettier or Prettify. I'll let you know. And then I can tell you the actual Mac keyboard shortcut, and it just formats all your code and makes it look pretty.
That's sweet.
That way you don't have to worry about all this tabbing and like, oh, my code's not aligned. It's like, oh my gosh.
He's
Control Shift I. boom,
he's
done.
he's so pure he doesn't even notice it. See, I'm sitting here having flashbacks to when I was teaching AP computer science, like looking over kids' shoulders, like fuck this tabbing. Oh man.
See, my problem is Lissandro comes in Lift Wallet. It implements ESLint all over everything, enforcing like indent character limits and stuff. So I'm just like, it's not even about what it's pretty. It's just like if you don't follow a rule, you're not compiling. So
Like, same with Python. It's like,
oh my god, yeah, Python is
it's spacing dependent, right? If you don't
Yep.
space, it fails.
yeah, it's like you want to function, get that spacing right. Yeah.
Pads are
That's-
superior to spaces.
That's why I stick to C like base languages. Give me my curly braces. I'm not guessing.
Yeah. JavaScript is nice this way too, right? You just
Yeah.
write it, and then it's just style. What's like acceptable style? You got too much text on a line, so you break it into multiple lines. And those types of things, right?
Yep.
Nice, that was quick, dude. Good job. All right, yeah, let's just double check.
Nope, no, man.
Oh,
Awesome.
boom. Yeah, so you
Here
get the
it is,
idea.
nice one.
All right.
There you go, Cole.
And it looks like Sustainable Connections is taking us to news. Did I see that right?
Oh,
Yeah.
you are.
Just make sure you change
Question.
the link for that last one.
Oh, it's because I didn't change that.
Yeah.
I just copied.
Copy pasta gets again.
Yep.
Always.
You got an N in there, Cole.
No.
Control it. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Awesome. Now let's double check that. Sweet.
Right. And then going
My-
back and messing with the colors of those things and
Yeah, I can go back.
that's kind of
You
easy.
should make it connections or connection, but you should make it standard so your code is not gonna.
Sorry, can you
Like-
say that one more time? My bad.
Your JS file is called connection. Your link points to connection, but on the page it's connections, and your descriptions it's connections. So you should decide one or the other.
Okay, so I would go back to and oh no, I'd go
Yeah,
can you-
make the function connections and then save the file name as connections also.
Yeah.
Right. Export default function connection should be connections.
wait, am I doing this right?
Yeah, you're right.
That's the second from the bottom.
Yeah. You can also just press.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you get to the menu, it's the second from the bottom.
My
Yes.
Then just change it in the function up to the right.
that'd be right here, yeah.
Yep. S and save.
Nope.
Perfect.
And then just save index.js. Looks like that one needs to be saved. Yes. All right, cool. What should we tackle next?
TypeScript. I'm just kidding.
Maybe
The image.
image, yeah, get in this image, maybe up in the title area. Is that
Okay,
possible?
Yeah,
cool.
let's get that fancy text going on.
All right, so you downloaded this file from your Figma board.
Yeah, and I made it a little smaller too with that image resizer as well.
Great. And now,
Okay,
and
that
where
is
is that
emerging.
file now?
I put it in the actual public folder. So should be,
You should be able to do this in VS Code though, right?
yeah, my bad. Should be right here.
And so what's it called?
So that's
Is
the
it because it's a PDF?
Oh, perfect. Okay, I see what happened. All right, so it looks like you might have downloaded like the entire Figma file. You could just delete that PDF. And let's go back to your
proper image.
board.
And I'll go back to the.
Now highlight only that text there somehow.
Into the bottom.
That's the one. Okay, we want to export just that. Yeah, so with that highlighted, right, now scroll to the bottom of your right-hand toolbar. Yeah. And you see how it's already wants to export as a PNG instead of a PDF. And then that's just a function of what is highlighted. So if you have a whole page, for example, highlighted, it's going to default to PDF.
SVG
Okay.
is great too, for the record.
Say again?
SVG is really preferable when you're talking about this.
Should we use that instead?
If you can, I mean, it's good to talk about these things now.
Yeah, good.
SVG will scale basically, right? It's all about since it's vector based, it's math oriented, right? So it does calculations based off of what's around it. So with PNG, right, like you can actually start seeing pixels if you try to make it too big. But since SVG is based off of math, there isn't a pixel to show up essentially.
I see. Okay.
Rendered as an image by the software rather than a bitmap where you have just like, you know, literally a map of colored bits.
Yeah, SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphic.
There you go. See, I knew it was something relevant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's quite good, yeah, because as Kyle said, it's flexible and yeah, people can zoom in infinite amount of times without it pixelating. However, I am not entirely sure about its browser support, because I feel like there might be some browsers which don't, you know, play ball with it. So
From my
there used to be
understanding,
thing-
it
used to
should
be
be
this thing
supported by
where
HTML5.
Yeah,
But-
it should be.
Yeah.
There used to be this thing where you can be able to have like fallback, where you'd have you know your preferable like format, which is SVG, you know, be the first thing, and then you'd have a fallback for PNG if the browser doesn't support it. A browser like, I don't know, Internet Explorer or something, IE8 or something like that. But
Handling is a really good topic to delve into for all of these reasons. But it's a bit of a sidebar for.
Let's fix that file name, Cole, for Sustainable Ada, just so there's no space in it.
You like that picture? See that picture? Isn't that a nice picture?
It's always amazing.
And does it have to be lowercase or does that?
It's good to standardize it. I tend to like to just make all of my image titles all lowercase.
I think it just comes down to consistency.
Okay.
So ultimately it's preference, right? Like what your consistency is that's up to you. If you like underscores, dashes, and stuff like that. Another thing you'll find, like when you mess with underscores and dashes, I'm like really big on like double clicking my words and dragging to highlight. So I do a lot of like dashes and underscores. I can't remember which one, but if you use one versus the other, it actually will lend itself better to double clicking like that for highlight, because one, it's like defined as a part of the word instead of a delimiter of the word. So I can't,
I like that.
I'll
Be the
probably
hacker,
get my
man.
like groove as I
Figure out
do
how you
more
like
and more
it,
of
you know?
this as well.
OCG, your mic is really, really low. It's difficult to hear you.
Sorry, is that better?
Much, much better, dude.
Good. Thanks for letting me know.
All right,
I always worry because I get a lot of noise sometimes.
we're looking for this spot in this index file. So let's see. Looks like it's on line 17. And so leave that line as is, but just replace the file name. And you're gonna have to fix the capitals to match.
I wonder if that was. Oh no.
Nah, it was a PDF before. Okay, but now
Yeah.
one thing, go back to the Sustainable ADA tab at the top of your screen. And this thing comes with a width and a height built in. Let's just use those to start. This is probably going to be too big for what we want, but let's just try it anyway. 379 is the width. The height is 57.
I just copied it.
Well, no, just remember those numbers,
Okay,
379, and go back to index.js. And you see how on line 17, you have a width and a height at the end of that image. Yeah. Mhm.
Which one wins?
What do you mean?
If he specified it there after it and they were different versus the SVG file.
When you specify it
Last
directly in
one.
the image tag,
Okay.
then that takes preference.
Gotcha.
Inline style takes preference.
So would we
It's there, Cole.
just make it a little larger?
Well, yeah, not by zooming though. Okay, so it's hold on. What are the dimensions of the wheel? 500 by 500. All right, who can help out with this? I actually don't know enough about using SVGs.
Just remove those for the moment. Just take it right out and just try and render it the way the SVG wants to be without any inline styling. Just get
All
rid
of
of the height and width. Yeah,
Not the close.
you need the closing tag,
Yeah, you
the,
need to-
the,
yeah.
the end bracket,
Oh, I see. The image.
Yeah, so
right angle bracket.
Is that good? Or-
Mm,
No.
delete that and put a slash at the before that closing bracket, right?
Just like the
others.
line under it, Cole.
Oh, I see.
That just means you're ending the tag now instead of putting the extra whole closing tag thing.
Wait, what am I not getting? Sorry.
Put the angle bracket after the slash. After the slash.
I see. Okay.
That closes it. So that's instead of putting an entire slash image tag, you can end it this way now. This is like new school.
How the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, try it this way. Okay. You probably need try having the height and the width in there, but just type in auto where the numbers should go.
No, not that guy. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Sorry. I'll be quiet.
No, you're good. No, you're cool. No, keep talking. I appreciate it.
Might need a space after this.
Yeah, make sure you have your space after alt sustainable wheel there.
Right before width. No, nothing.
Try to get rid of the curly brackets. around-
Just refresh.
Yeah, try getting rid
Try
of.
replacing the curly brackets with quotes.
Yes.
Keep on. Go save it. That should be. That looks a lot better. Wow.
Yeah, so what was happening before it that is basically it was shrinking it from the
Yeah.
base size.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So if I wanted to get that up to this area, would I just
Excellent. Okay. Where, go back to the web page. And show with the mouse where you want this to be.
Control Shift I.
Right, now here's,
Open your developer tools. And point to that with your inspector with your inspector tool.
do I need Chrome open for that?
I don't know. Do you have DevTools in this?
Sorry, could probably do it.
In any event, if you're going to be doing web development, you pretty much want to get used to using Chrome.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and there's actually a really nice React plugin too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely start using Chrome.
Or Firefox. I use Firefox too, but Chrome is like
Ideal.
just better support. I find Firefox has some issues.
What about Brave?
Brave all the way.
I don't use it, but I don't know. Some people
Brave.
It's just Chrome.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just Chrome.
It's Chrome, but minus all the annoying ads and shit.
Yeah, I just like that it tells me how many hours of my life it saved, apparently. Which I don't know how true it is, but I definitely like to brag to my coworkers.
all right, so Cole, this is
That possible to go in there?
not exactly, okay, so yes, when you're working alone, you should know about developer tools, and just to save a little bit of time right now, I want to just talk through what we did last week. Remember how last week we built a toolbar?
Yeah.
And that's what's at the top of the page.
I actually renamed it as well.
Oh, so you've actually been in there and you changed it. Remember,
A little, yeah.
right? So remember, it's a separate file.
Where was I? It was nav right here.
It's a component called nav. And actually, check it out. This has an SVG built into it. But we actually want to replace line 20 with that image. And heck, maybe we can replace everything from lines 19 to 21 with that image. Is that a component there? So if you go back to
Oh, like between the A's, then?
Just cut the image that you got going on in the other file, cut that line and replace all of that, those 3 lines with that, what you cut. Yep. Cut that. And go back. And so what is it? 18 to 21 or whatever. Or 19 to 20.
Wait, yeah, so he probably still wants the anchor.
exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Let's try this, save the index and save this.
You might have to import link or what, or image maybe.
That's not the error I was suspecting. Yeah, so I go back to the web page for a second, refresh this page. Yeah, okay, that's the error we were expecting, right? So when you
Import image.
okay, this means at the top of this file, it hasn't been imported. You did import it in index.js, but at the top of nav.js, you'll see, oh, we imported link, but not image. So at the end of line 1, enter for a new line, import capital I image from next/image. Should work now. All right, let's take another look. This hasn't changed yet. Refresh this. All right, cool. Now,
Boom.
yeah, so we're making progress. I'm still not happy with the spacing there now. Right?
Okay.
And it's actually really, for me, it's you could use developer tools right now. But for me, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on because we got rid of the color in the nav bar. So let's just go back to the nav.js file for a minute.
This is just like fixed position stuff in your CSS now. This is like absolute relative position stuff.
Like
Just make
big-
your nav top, zero margin top, blah, blah, whatever.
Right. Well, so in order just to understand what you're saying, I want to have some color there just so we can see it.
Yeah, totally.
Um,
And again, this is, it's worth noting, like this is where DevTools comes in handy because you can click on your components and then you see that padding visually represented very nicely, right? And it
yeah,
helps.
definitely learn how to use DevTools when you're practicing on your own. Now, oh, it's funny, we have BG Black 700 there. So why? Oh, hold on. This-
Keep forgetting we're using Tailwind here, so I have to defer to you completely.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the black color.
James, alternatively, you could actually just change the entire background color, assuming that the header isn't transparent.
Right, I don't see opacity. Well, just, yeah, so in line 17, you see, oh, that's why. Oh, because BG Black 700 is not a thing. In Tailwind, BG Black and BG White are just their own things. So if you want black background, just get rid of the -700 at the end. Just write BG Black. And that's why it was showing up as white, because it doesn't have, Tailwind doesn't know what BG Black 700 is. Okay, there it is. All right, so sure enough, it's actually spacing wise not bad, and the vertical spacing looks pretty good, but this bar is too wide, too tall. All right, we don't want it to be like that. And I
And
think, okay.
now that these are links, I guess we don't really need these words.
Well, so the logic for keeping those is that after you leave this page and you go to one of those other pages, maybe you do want these links that's still at the top of the page, right? So having the consistent navigation set up. And if you think about the front page of a lot of websites you visit, you're always likely to have more than one chance to end up at the key routes. Okay. In terms of the height of this thing, yeah, this is where we really do need DevTools. Does Safari have anything like that? Sorry,
Yeah, I can
Yes,
just,
it does.
I'll just switch to Chrome.
if you have Chrome open,
Just open it.
because I'm curious where the height is coming from.
Would that be in?
Mhm. More tools. And then developer tools.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Y'all have fun.
Kyle, thanks, man.
Thanks for coming.
Do that, Bobby.
And then you see where the word elements is at the top of the DevTools? Move your
Yeah.
mouse twice to the left, and it's that thing. Okay. Now put your mouse over Sustainable Ada, because I'm curious.
On the page yet.
Yeah, you see, okay, it's the height of this thing that's making this entire nav taller than we want it to be. And it's interesting because you see the image dimensions there. It says 300 by 150.
So just want to make those smaller.
Well, what this is now telling us is that this image is somehow getting a height of 150, even though we used auto and built into the SVG, it wasn't 150, it was like 79 or something, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, we have to go back and now figure out, all right, what options do I have for resizing this thing? So let's try a couple of things. Let's try a couple of things. First of all,
Do you want me to go back?
no, this is good.
What does P-3 do here, James?
That's the padding with inside the entire nav.
Maybe just remove that temporarily.
Yeah, you can, sure. And if you want to get rid of the P inside that anchor there too, that's fine. Yeah,
I
save
would
that.
even get rid of the margin also. Perhaps.
They're one of them.
Put your mouse over sustainable ADA again.
You need to get back on it.
So you see, well, so can you see the difference that now this image box, the image box itself is the same size, but there's no padding or margins on all sides of it.
Oh, so it's just stuck in that corner.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
like it,
And remember the dimensions of the entire nav were actually bigger on the y-axis than the image themselves. It went a little farther in each direction because we had the P2 or P3, whatever it was. That was adding some, right, some padding on all sides.
so that, yeah, the sustainable 88 was a little further down.
Right. It was, yeah, it was a little farther to the right. And so now basically the light blue box that's highlighted now in your nav bar is flush against the top and bottom edges of your nav bar. And a few minutes ago, that wasn't the case.
No.
But still, what we're dealing with now is we wish that the edges of this image itself were closer to the letters, right? We don't want all that extra space. And I need to do some studying right now to figure. I don't know enough about how SVGs interact with Next, so I have to go learn about that.
I feel like it possibly is possibly to do with the minimum width and the max width. You know, all the 100% right at the bottom there. Possibly. Yeah, try deselecting, like unticking a number of options there and see whether that actually fixes anything.
These are, hold on, this is the color wheel.
Oh, it's just focused on.
Ah, yeah.
In the SVG, you can change the path, the color path. If you go to VS Code, go to your SVG file. Sustainable ADA down in public. And then, where is it? Fill equals none.
Where do you?
That's fill equals none. You can make that like whatever white. What's no? You need the hex code for it.
Now what?
Well, so help me with this question because I really don't know this. we're saying the on line 1, we have height equals 57, but then somehow in the nav bar, we then use auto height, and then the height ends up 150. So why is that happening?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Instead of white, write FF, FF, FF. 6 Fs. There's-
You might need the hash symbol before that, maybe.
probably.
A dash. Is it?
Hash, pound
Oh.
sign.
Yeah, save that and try it.
Should I like?
That should work. Reload.
Oh, just hit.
Go back. Oh, yeah. F5.
Where did I delete all the colors?
Here, you can just close DevTools and reload. for a second.
Crazy tab action happening.
I'm used to having.
No, so no, we're not seeing any change yet. Um, uh,
Sorry, is this repo public somewhere, or like do we have access to it?
I think it is public.
yeah,
James did it on the workshop, maybe.
I got you. Sorry, I'm looking up a fix to.
Yeah, I'm googling, but I need to play myself.
I can.
Throwing this in the chat.
A link to the Figma would be awesome, also, please.
Yeah, I'll send you that.
Thanks, Cole.
You already got the GitHub link.
Yep.
Okay, sweet. Yep. Zoom that.
Right, and what's so weird as well is in the Figma, there isn't padding, right? Look at the bounding box. Go back to Figma for a sec. And just notice the box around that. That's sustainable.
No, it's got to be your Tailwind. I'm not up to speed on Tailwind, so I'm not exactly sure where these attributes are being introduced, but it's certainly in Tailwind somehow.
Well, I would agree, except for the fact that now go back, Cole, to the code.
Can you just do max height equals 80 or whatever? Or 60, 57? No, not there, sorry. The max height for the div.
Would that be back in
Index or nav, sorry.
I might be leading you down the garden path here, but
and then
Yeah, there's no tailwind in this image, and that's where the extra height is showing up, right? It's inside of that SVG. All right, well, that's less tall.
So if I made that, white-
It was white.
Yeah, I think to help debug this, it'll make sense to change the background from black to any other color so that we can actually see.
Actually, yeah, but okay, well, that's good. Can you do like gray 300 or something? Just-
yeah, no, yeah, definitely. My bad. And then dash 300. Let's see.
So.
I just make it bigger than 80.
uh, Yeah, so I mean, right, so now that we've, okay, but yeah, let's see, so right, that's an 80 by 80 square. Okay, so it did what we asked it to. So now try this. Try back in your code. Try with auto. Line 20.
Right in there.
On line 20.
Oh, my bad.
Width equals auto, replace with the word auto. And then height, replace that whole thing with curly brackets instead of quotes. And remember, curly brackets.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yep. Type of 57 right there. Save that.
Oh, wow, okay. That was-
Okay, so now we're telling it what height it has to be. Okay, so that's more what we want. Okay. And yeah, so obviously we have a lot of work to do in terms of making this responsive design. That's going to be,
Yeah, gotta make it.
all right, but that works. This works, right?
And I can look back through the last video to like see what we did for the responsive design.
I'm curious, close DevTools. And then, I mean,
Could you put a little padding, or do you want padding here? Or could,
your choice. It depends. Part of my decision on padding right here would have to do with what color I settled on too.
okay.
Right, and depending on your color choice, it might look good. I think I would probably at least put a margin on the left.
Yeah, okay, so it was a margin, not padding, that's what it is. So that would still be in the nav, right?
Yeah, you could put this either on line 19 or on line 17. Let's try it on 19, yeah, just in that A.
And
ML,
sorry, ML.
yep, margin left dash. Try 3. Save that and see what that looks like.
Oh, yeah, that looks a lot better.
Just a little bit. It might be a little too big still. Right?
Yeah, no, it could be.
So what if we try now, go and change the auto to brackets. And what if we constrain it to like 200? See what happens.
Oh yeah, that looks a little better, a little smaller.
Still, we'd have to look at responsive stuff, but I think that's good enough for now.
No, yeah, definitely, yeah. And I got a few different pages I can mess around with. Just add some stuff on over to.
That
Yeah.
looks great.
That came together. And yeah, that font looks pretty cool up there. Now the wheel has been bothering me all night because
Yeah, I think I messed it up a bit.
You have any idea what happened?
No.
All right, so we don't need the nav anymore. Close the nav. Save and close sustainable ADA. Actually, in sustainable ADA, wait a second, that fill, I don't know if that's ever gonna come back to bite us. What was it originally? Does anybody remember?
Just
Just a
undo.
type.
Control Z.
Oh yeah.
That works.
Well, I said none.
Keep going.
My bad.
That's fine. No, just Control Z. Just take it all the way back to normal.
Or just type none, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
All right. Quotes.
A quote.
And then
Just add an
And,
E.
and
Oh my.
Yeah.
I'm texting talking there.
All right, so you could save that and close that file. And let's close the panorama. We used that already. Yeah. All right. So that brings us to, where is the big wheel?
Oh, so that's right.
is that image still rendering properly the way that you like it right now?
No, it's like a little fat. It's like wide.
No, I mean the text that you just worked on. Now that you saved that SVG file.
Well, like this right here.
Yeah, good check.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Okay, it's all good.
My bad. My bad. I was a little confused.
Cole, just if you could just hop back into Figma and click on the wheel. Yeah, just select it. Okay, so 505. So there's the width and the height, as you can see, on your
Right down there.
right.
505 to 4. 5, 4,
Yeah.
1.
So you might want to sort of use those to define it, because so far I think the reason why it's squished is possibly because of that.
Oh.
All right, so this
What
is
about
what
just
DevTools again.
what about just
Did
auto?
you save it?
I think I did say that. I'll double check. Yeah, I did.
Let's take a look at DevTools and let's find out what size it's rendering there. And what was funny here is when you did start unchecking boxes earlier, I noticed that it popped back to being a circle right away. But I also noticed, actually, can you press Command minus a couple times?
In the browser window. Click on that window and then yeah.
All right, good enough.
You made,
Now
you made DevTools bigger again, please.
Exactly. Mouse over that, and you hit the that arrow button again. Yeah. All right. So you see, for some reason, it's coming.
Yeah.
791 430.
What is up with that?
Probably because of the flex stuff.
Oh, I might have a flex thing. No.
BG panorama, BG cover will make it stretch probably.
Oh, look what happened. Nope. It was somehow it moved outside of the div. Just put your
Oh, yeah.
and go. This was working last week. Here, get rid of that space again. Option up arrow. Save.
Oh,
Let's
so
go
the
look.
image had to be outside of it.
We wanted it in. No, we want this image inside this div. There's a div that starts on line 16 and on line 19.
Good snag.
I see. Okay, so now it's inside that div.
Let's go see what this looks like now.
There it goes. It just was hanging outside the div.
Boom.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can see the relationship of the div. Now, last week, 500 by 500 looked fine to my eyes. Does this look better? Maybe. Like, so you decide if you want to use those
Yeah.
dimensions. But it's,
Or, yeah,
you
or
can see the
maybe-
image is precisely the dimensions you type now, 505 by 431. So that's good. I wasn't looking that closely at 500 by 500 last week. It just, I noticed it looked good enough.
Yeah,
But
no. Yeah, that sounds good.
you
Yeah,
decide, yeah.
and it probably will change over time, maybe a little bit too.
And one of the things, just so you know this, one of the things that image, the next image tag is abstracting away is the need to deal with the responsive design part. It's going to resize this image for different sized screens automatically.
And that kind of just makes it a little easy. It's like kind of like a little short.
Yeah, that's when you use the uppercase I image tag from Next versus the lowercase I IMG that's built into HTML. One of the things you are getting is this responsive resizing.
Okay.
All right, so that image is looking better. What else?
James, just Cole, just hop back into VS. Just a quick aside. When it comes to rendering in browsers, the ampersand that you have there, you know, in the line 21, with stepping stones to a sustainable and equal world. Sometimes you'll find that even to this day that some browsers have problems rendering an ampersand. So what you want to do is actually type in, I'm going to need some help with this one. Is it HELLIP or something like that? Is it HELLIP? Basically, you need to sort of like, yeah, type in a different, yeah, James is going to help us out with what the actual thing is.
I know what you're talking about, but I mean, have you had issues with it with React?
Yeah.
Because yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, within React, no, but just like browsers
Yeah.
in general, like just like straight up typing that, like just plain, not using any frameworks. Just
Yeah.
straight up.
Well, so the reason I ask is because of this issue, like React handles this specific edge case very well. So I don't know if it's something you really need to worry about, but it is something to be aware of. You're right that there is some browser compatibility issue when you're using ampersands, but when you use it inside a P tag in React, it should render properly.
Okay, cool.
Fun, just for fun, type the letters AMP after that ampersand
Yeah, that's the AMP. I was thinking of ellipses.
and save that. And let's just see what renders.
Now it will say and amp.
Yeah, okay. React is taking care of it. Yes, we just want the.
But if you got rid of these, if you didn't have the P, that you had to, or no, you need the P.
Yeah. Just pretend we didn't have this conversation, and if you ever run into a situation where your ampersand doesn't render properly, you'll be like, oh, that's what they're talking about.
Okay, I see.
Right.
What are you thinking?
I'm trying to think of like,
Like I would re-export that image now as an SVG. That's kind of a good step. Like if you standardize your images as one file type, you could import everything as PNGs and import everything as SVGs and have, both, like we were talking about, for older browser support that maybe don't, then you have the option to work with that later. It's something you could do, for example.
Just before you export it, just to save you the headache, just go up to the left side where you've actually got the name Cardano SDGS. No, yeah, that's all right. Click on the image. Okay, now you see in the bit to your left, keep going left, keep going left. Now go down, there, right there. Yeah, basically in the list where it's highlighted. No, just go up.
There,
there. That's it. Yeah. Change the name there, and I just double click in there, and change the name to the standard that you want it to actually be, so that when you export it out, you don't then have to, keep doing that.
I see. Okay, so maybe.
Yeah.
Like I would just call it wheel or something easy.
Yeah, that's, and then once you export it, it just saves you the headache of
VS Code is your file system.
Can I just?
You can do everything from VS Code. Like you can copy from your download directory.
I just need to get a monitor.
That always helps.
I'm just on my computer at school, so.
Like what might be helpful is in your VS Code workspace to add your download directory to your workspace, for example, and then you can just drag and drop in the left menu bar from your download folder the files that you import, for example.
And I would do that just by adding the directory to
in VS Code, if you go to File, the File menu, add folder to workspace, and then find your downloads, and just click on downloads, and then click OK or add. Right, and then all of your downloads are just in the workspace. They're not part of the repository because they're not in the same, downloads is not in sustainable ADA, but it's in the same workspace. So you just have access to that directory inside this little menu here.
I see it.
What some IDEs actually allow you to do is if you go to the wheel image and within the directory, and you just drag it into say index.js.
That?
No, go to the tab where index.js is open.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just drag and drop, into there. Yeah, just let it go. Okay, that actually doesn't work because in some integrated developer environments or IDEs, if you do that, it creates a whole it creates the path for you, creates the tags and all that. But obviously in VS Code, it doesn't for whatever reason. But yeah, so just forget that.
All I would have to do is change.
Oh, actually, wait, James, is it that you might, or is it that you might have to hold down Alt or something if you drag in an image for it to then?
I don't really. I've never tried to do that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I am not familiar, but
I'm sure there are fabulous shortcuts.
yeah.
Learning more VS Code is always like,
/wheel. And it should be, what's the actual path? If just, no, you're in downloads. Go to your, where's the wheel image? Did you save the wheel image into your repository yet?
For some reason, it,
Get
it
from downloads
deleted
into,
itself.
oh, that's crazy. You may need to import it again, I don't know.
I just
Yeah, there it is.
Get rid of that code. Shit, image ID. Sorry for swearing.
I can get rid of all that.
Yep.
Can I just double check?
Well, you've got hundreds and hundreds of lines of SVG. I would just undo, or yeah, whatever.
And then
Whoa, 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 sorry. Undo. You're in the wheel.svg. Sorry, I thought you were back in index.
I was wondering what you're doing there.
Yeah, no, sorry. Close that. You don't
Okay,
need to
then
in wheel.svg. Close that file.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now go click to
yeah.
index. Where's your link? Yeah. So source is what? Where's the path to that image file? Don't drag and drop anything. Just type it. Yeah. Public. So are you? Yeah. So it should be. What? /public/ wheel.
Is that
Well, you're in index, and so index is in pages, so you got to go down a directory level and then over to public, so /public/wheel, right?
my bad? I'm so.
You know what I'm saying? Your
No.
image source, you're defining the path to the wheel SVG. So
I
from
think-
the file that you're in, you need to go /public/wheel.
I see.
/public/ that should work, right?
Did I have it before when I was just doing /wheel?
Just maybe use wheel. I don't know. No, don't have the.
My bad.
There you go. Okay, so okay, because it's an image tag, so /wheel, it's grabbing your image from public. It knows to look in public because the image is smart like that, right? Or not? Yeah, it's a next image thing, so it's more intelligent than I was giving it credit for. That's all.
Okay, I see.
abstracting away some things.
Yeah.
All right.
So now, just try zooming into that image, just so you can actually see the difference.
Oh,
Just
wow.
keep going, keep going, keep going. You see, it's not pixelating at all, basically. Ooh,
I think,
okay.
Looks really nice.
I think that's because I zoomed in.
Yeah, I use it at like 300% there. Looks pretty good.
And I think the image itself isn't actually it's a rasterized image exported out as a vector graphic. That's why the sustainable Ada text wasn't pixelating, but the image wheel was, because as I said, it's based on a raster image.
There is a gospel that says all of your image formats should be the same. I typically ignore that advice within a certain bound. There's a line beyond which using SVG for complicated images, it starts to be diminishing returns. And I think for this wheel, we are past that line. So even though
Yep.
yes, it's true, standardizing your file extensions is great. I would say that making sustainable ADA and SVT is a fine move and probably the best one. I don't think I would do it for the wheel, but it's good that you know the process now.
Now I can flip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make that decision yourself and find what works best, right?
Definitely.
And I mean, this is one of those things that people have nothing better to do will fucking bitch about it. And you can go read blog posts for every supporting every different alternative. So you find whoever's making the argument that you like and follow
And go with that.
that. Because the simple fact is your panorama is a JPEG right now, right? So that one,
I
want to standardize that to something, right? You know,
yeah, so I'd want to switch that maybe.
photographs. So, you know, it's really nice to standardize site-wide, but you're often going to end up with multiple extensions anyway.
Just
go
yeah,
ahead.
just a quick aside on images. SVGs are really good for just computationally for like things like buttons, for example, or things like the sustainable ADA that you've done up there. PNGs are great compared to say JPEGs if things like color depth matters to you and transparency, right? So with a PNG, you can be able to have transparency in an image. And then you've got obviously GIFs, which allow for animation within the file itself without having to like play a sequence of different images. That's all like embedded into the GIF format. So yeah, different image type formats have different different strengths, and obviously, yeah, as James said, different use cases.
Yeah, thank you so much for all that, for all this information. I really appreciate it.
But I think we should pause here in terms of adding more new things. Because yeah, any new feature we add right now is gonna kind of take us kind of late.
Yeah, no, I feel that for sure.
Do you have other questions based on, let's just look back at your index page one more time. Any other questions about what, let's look at the web version. And
Oh,
just
sorry, my
make
bad.
sure we're happy with how it looks. And you can close DevTools. So like I think one good challenge for you would be to try to make this more responsive. And here, what zoom are you at right now? Press Command plus a couple times. Yeah, get back to 100.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or a quick way to arrive at that is Command 0.
Oh,
And actually, yeah, that wheel looks great.
Thank
Now. It does. The wheel looks really good on my screen now. So that's good.
I think this is like nearly bang on at this point to the original Figma design that you started with.
Yeah.
You know, I call that like pretty close to what you were aiming for.
yeah, no, yeah, that's I'm pretty amazed, honestly.
Nice work, man.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I would, so I'm
That's
looking,
really
let me give you a few really picky things that you can choose what to do with. So scroll down to these 3 boxes. I would probably get rid of the dashes.
Yeah,
That's just an easy one, right? And then certainly in the middle box, it feels to me like the paragraph at the very least could use some padding. Right?
I agree.
It probably doesn't need vertical padding. So this is a case where you probably just want to add some PX, and then you choose what number looks best. Play with a few. Right? And then just for consistency's sake, give the left and the right hand mission and connections boxes, give that the same, just so it's a consistent padding on different size screens. And then a cool challenge to tackle this week would be just to try to get this page to work responsively. All right, because let's look really quickly. Go to Dev Tools. And tap the second icon, the one next to that one. Yeah. And you see how it says responsive up top?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a drop down menu. Change it to iPhone 6, for example. Yeah. And scroll down. Like obviously these boxes,
We're getting pretty cute.
boxes and the text are not working in tandem, right? And the text, it actually looks like on this view that the text isn't even fitting inside the boxes.
No.
This is a really, really cool challenge. Like, don't break your head on this, but see if you can figure this out yourself this week, how to deal with that. And the hint
because-
of you is
And that would that be mostly Tailwind?
Yes,
it will be.
all Tailwind.
All
You don't have
Tailwind.
to change anything but Tailwind at this point.
And every utility, everything is responsive. Okay, so you've used the MD and the LG prefix on a couple of things so far, but if you're wondering what it can be applied to, the answer is everything, right? So I think where I would start here is by making the font sizes responsive. Okay. Our mission and sustainable Ada news, maybe those letters don't have to be so big on a smaller screen. But the height of each of these boxes looks like it probably needs to be a little bit more than it is, certainly than it is right now. So play around with those two variables. See if you can make it fit on a screen. Okay. One easy design principle is that margin and paddings will often be much less on a smaller screen if they exist at all. All right. And you know this, like if you've ever like read an article on your phone or whatever, to our eyes, it doesn't really bother our eyes if words are right up against the edge of an iPhone screen, right? But when they're right up against the edge of a web browser on a computer screen, for some reason that bothers us, right? So just like you're already kind of vaguely aware of this design principle, right? So just apply it and you'll know what looks good. You have enough experience looking at things on phones that you can
Yeah.
and then
Did I miss
parallel, a separate track to that, right? So the responsive piece, that's kind of a fun challenge. You can try to make that work. But separate from that, see if you can do a basic setup of the other 3 pages.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was gonna say that. Definitely, yeah.
And your Figma designs are pretty busy and challenging.
Yeah,
Right.
no, yeah,
So
definitely.
You may decide to keep it a little simpler and cleaner on these pages, but just have fun with it. Just, you know, like if you want to know how something works, just try to make it work.
No, yeah, definitely. I'm excited to play around with it this week, definitely, after all this.
Good stuff. Next week, Kyle left already. Next week, Kyle and I were wondering if we could do a takeover of this class and look at some smart contract stuff.
We should definitely do that. That'd be so cool.
So I'll be happy to connect with you. Just let me know when you need help.
Yeah, we can just find a free little bit to me.
When you get to a stopping point and it's all up on GitHub, just let me know. If there's anything you want me to look at, I'm happy to.
Awesome, definitely. I really appreciate everything and all the time you've helped me already. Thank you.
This was fun.
Great work.
Yeah, you really
Yeah,
stayed cool.
I've learned so much in like these last few days than I've probably learned in a whole semester. So in some classes, like, no, I appreciate it a lot, honestly.
Good stuff. Man.
Yep, you're doing good. Doing great.
Thank you.
Super class tonight. Very nice.
Fun.
Thank you, James.
Well, and, oh, it's so good having you here. I'm glad you're here.
Well, I'm learning.
Yeah,
need to
no,
produce though.
you're building your schema. It's a good thing.
I need to pay back,
It'll happen. It'll
and
happen.
it will happen. I'm working on the team,
Yeah.
aligning everything. It'll be the time to come that it will work. Very nice.
Good things. Yeah, so Kyle and I are gonna we're gonna like go live next Monday for this class and just like try to learn Glow together. Okay, and so we can all just sit and try to learn Glow, see if we can get it to do anything, and then have some conversations about what a smart contract does in the first place, just so we can all.
So can you, is it, like, I haven't really been following the whole Glow thing, but are you supposed to just plug Solidity into it, or like what are you writing in Glow programming language? It's
I think Glow is a programming language. Yeah, that's
like,
one of my to-dos this week is to look it up, is to learn about it a little bit. But my understanding is that it is distinct from Solidity.
It works like an interface to write smart contracts, right?
I gotta look at it. Honestly, they were changing their documentation every like 6 hours or so after the last time that what does he call himself?
Francois
Yeah, but-
Faré.
All right.
Yeah.
The last time he presented, they like the Mune website just kept changing, and I was like, "Fuck this!" Like, I'm not gonna try to learn this while they're just.
This is, well, this is what I, like, this is my big concern with like these things like Glow and Reach. It's not that I'm not interested, but you know, it's hard enough doing this stuff with very well supported languages, right? And then to add these additional layers of complexity and learning brand new systems and all, and that which may have bugs and not work and all this kind of stuff, right? It's like,
Well, it's just
not necessarily where I want to really spend all my time, right?
It's a new Reach to me feels like just another kind of intermediary, honestly. Mune is probably going to end up feeling the same way. But what I'll say about Reach is that when I worked through their tutorial, I learned principles about smart contracts that whether or not I ever
There's some value.
right? Whether or not I ever use Reach again, I benefited from working through that. And so I know
Absolutely.
that we at least spend a couple of nights looking at Glow together. If nothing else, we'll get some ideas for how we're supposed to be thinking. And hopefully
Yeah,
that'll
no, that's totally valid.
Could you help me just with the git push one more time, just so I don't forget that?
So it's git add and dot, which means just everything you change to this session.
It means everything in this file, the local directory that you're operating in, is what the dot actually means.
That's true.
You could type git add and then write the actual file name that you changed, but instead we're saying just look in this entire directory and anything that's different we're adding.
And then,
Git
I want to save it all first, actually, right?
That's right.
And then.
That goes back to that dot dot slash stuff I was talking about. Like if you went git add dot dot, it would add everything in the directory above you, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think I do. Wait, so you, like,
This is just file path stuff we're talking about, right? Like the dot means here, the directory that we're currently in, our current working directory, right? Dot dot means go up a level, right? So, right? So dot slash something would be maybe a folder in the current directory that you're in. You know, like if you're in your project directory, you want to go into public dot slash public, right?
That would just bring you into the, I
Right.
see it.
Yeah, so dot means from here, current working directory, and then right dot dot means up to the parent directory. star asterisk is a wildcard, right? So if you did like git add star.jpg, it would add all the JPGs that it finds, right?
Okay, so like just like separates it. That's like wow.
So if you went /star.png, it would say find all the PNGs that are in the parent directory.
I see. Just so I don't miss this part, after git add dot, it's git push.
No, you have to write your commit message after you add your files, right? So you add files to a working commit, and then you push that commit to the repo, right?
And that's just in brackets, or I meant
Git commit, and then it's git commit -m. -m is the message flag, and then the message that your commit message is in quotation marks.
yeah, that's my bad. I was doing that in the git add.
Once you get into the workflow with Git, it's just repetition. It's just using it all the time and screwing things up and breaking it and figuring out why and how. And it's really difficult to just say, well, just do this and you'll be fine, because Git is a system that you're completely in control of, right?
That's why it's dash then M, not M dash.
Yeah, it's a flag, right? So when you're dealing with flags, if you're using a letter, a prefix, it's one dash and then the letter. If you're using the word, it would be like -- message, for example, or whatever, right?
And then I did the comment, and now what I do?
So git commit -m with your message, and then that should have like done some output, right? Given some output, and then you can git push.
I didn't get any output. Yeah, I'll share my.
Just do git status. Type git status.
Yeah.
And it will tell you if you're ahead of the branch or not. If you're ahead of the branch, you have a commit that hasn't been pushed.
Not saying.
Can you share your screen? I can't
Yeah,
see what
my
you're up
bad.
to. That's all good, man.
Here, you might need to make me host one more time, James. My bad.
Yep, got you.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's just because you're still you hit Control C. You're still running your program and you're just typing on top of it.
I see.
There you go.
So now
Okay. So git add dot git commit -m styles and pages. Yep. Yep. Just like that. You got it. Yep. There's your output we were expecting. And then, so now if you do git status, you're ahead of the branch, right? By one commit, git push to publish your local commits.
Yeah, no, it's definitely taking a few times to get used to that. Like,
yeah, it's a workflow, it's a process, right? And each step is important, and it's doing something else and doing something unique, right? So understanding at what stage in the commit process you are will really help you know, like making very small incremental changes to your code and making each change its own commit allows you to track the evolution of your app and allows you to troubleshoot and revert when things go wrong. You know, you get to a point where something's broken, you go, okay, just go back and commit. You know, you can very precisely hone in on the change that you made that caused the issue.
And that's
Whereas if you make all these big changes and you just save, and then you, one big push, you have no idea. Like you've just like, you know, like git commit update, you know, and like you change 17 files or whatever and like push 300 lines of code or whatever. It's like, holy fuck.
yeah, no, that's a lot.
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like
no.
making very small incremental commits will aid you in your development process. And your commit message, you know, like be very specific, you know, like updated git ignore to include whatever, you know, what, you know, like whatever it is, you know.
So I can go back and be like, oh, I did this.
Yes, exactly. This is for you and for your team as well, right? Your development, anybody who's collaborating with you.
I would argue it's actually more for other folks than it is for you. So in a way, whenever you write it, try
You
and
tell me that when you go back a year later to something that you wrote a year ago and you're like, what the hell was I doing here?
try and write it. Try and write it the way that you would like someone else to write any changes that they've made, right? Right, for you to be able to understand what the hell they've done.
Like kind of like the little comments on the side of like a Google Doc or something almost.
Exactly.
Let's see. Well, I think I have a ton of awesome stuff I can dive into this week. And then I'll definitely reach back out to you, James, show you what I've been doing. If I haven't been stuck anywhere, definitely will hit you up about that. But I think I'm gonna go make some food and get off here, if that's all right. But hey, thank you so much for doing this. All of you guys, all of your input is so amazing and so like valuable and beneficial for me and honestly whoever else will watch this. So I just thank you guys so much.
Oh, thanks for
Yeah,
joining.
One quick
it's really
thing
good.
before you, yeah, one quick thing before you jump off. Have a look
Yeah,
at the chat. I've thrown a link in there, and it's simply just from an accessibility standpoint. Get to understand contrast ratios. So at the moment, the way the nav bar is, you know, it's like light text on a light background. So like from a readability standpoint, it's not really that good. Obviously, you know, that was not intentional and that's not the way it's gonna, you know, end up being. But just it's a good learning or teaching point to understand, yeah, just contrast ratios and how they apply to just, you know, when you think of colors for different items moving forward.
Will that kind of like make it pop and like other people's like different things pop out to people kind of?
These
Exactly.
are design elements like just readability and all the stuff that A is the expert on and I'm not. I really enjoy hearing about this stuff because the design aspects are stuff I don't spend enough time with.
No, yeah, thank you so much. I'm definitely gonna check that out. I just saved that to my notes. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much, and I'll be reaching out to you guys, and I'm excited for the Glow smart contracts next Monday.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
get it.
Bon appetit.
Yeah, thanks again. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.